We back with another one, my nigga. We watching a Laker fan video of athletic inside center Giannis build. Let's get right to it, but let's get 2 to 5 likes on this video and subscribe, please. Let's get straight to it, man. Oh, bro.
Alright, what's up, y'all? It's Laker Fan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, you have our 6'11" demigod Giannis build in NBA 2K26. So, this is going to be an inside center that actually has a little bit of three-pointer that I hadn't really put on any of the other builds that I made. And it's still going to be a good screener, ball handler. Consider an ISO slasher that's just a pure inside that you utilize as a screener secondary. Now, I made this one 6'11". I made a 6'10" point center, and I also have my 6'8" pure inside. However, this build's a little bit different where it's like a slight bit more defensive, and it kind of just comes together a little bit cleaner because I didn't put quite as much driving dunk on it. So for being 6'11", you max out at 92 driving dunk. I still find 92 driving dunk to be somewhat valuable off the fact that it will give you side clutches off one. I think that's a really good dunk animation. It's arguably the best in the game. And you also don't really get enough speed with ball to get something like Bronze Lightning Launch. However, it's still got the Giannis dribble style with 55 speed with ball minimum requirement, and I think this is still going to be able to move at a decent level. Also, my apologies that it's not showing the badges. It will in just a second. I should apologize for that. But one thing that I didn't know about the build that I do want to let you guys know that you should do instead, and I ironically had it right here, is that I had 80 defensive rebound and 94 offensive rebound. For having the ADD board and 80 offensive rebound while also having 85 strength, you would get the crash or takeover option. Granted, I think poster machine is probably the type of thing you'd want to run on a build like this anyway, but to have options is obviously a good thing to be able to fit in as a role player. Something like this would give you more of a role player option, whereas the poster machine is obviously you trying to take over a little bit more as being the primary ball handler. But anyway, point being is I think you should still probably try and get that 80 defensive rebound, because I ended up kind of sliding it down just a little bit so we could nudge out some extra attribute points, and what that led to us being able to do was get the 53 point rating. Now, I'm not so sure that it's really that important. I don't know if you're gonna be able to shoot great with 53 pointer or not. Very unlikely, but it still leaves you the option to at least try. Now, I don't think it's really worth. I think it's kind of troll, but it's cheap. It was like low-key kind of cheap, and I think pretty worth putting on the build, all things considered. But anyway, let's talk more about this build and what it brings to the table as far as being able to replicate Giannis a little bit more. So, height, obviously, we wanted to be as tall as we could be while still being able to dribble decently. And you technically, I think, could go 7 foot if you went a little bit lower on the weight, and that would allow you to get 55 speed with ball. However, with this build right here, this is going to be 70 ball handle. It's going to give plenty of decent sigs. So we got things like pro behind the back. We got Giannis crossover at 65, I believe, is the requirement for that as well. And then good strength to the gold brick wall. We got good vert, speed, offensive rebound high enough for the Hall of Fame box out beast, as well as gold rebound chaser. It's going to be the type of thing you'd want out of a pretty much pure inside build of having the great offensive rebound. And then defensively, I know it maybe doesn't really quite as much replicate Giannis as you think. I don't think you necessarily need the steal rating to feel like Giannis on the court, though. I think a lot of what you're seeing is the physicals in combination with the high block rating. That's the type of stuff you're looking at, and then to not be a liability on either of the two defenses that also go with it. Now, I understand maybe if you wanted to be a little bit closer to Giannis on the defensive side, maybe you could shave off the pass accuracy and go down to 75. It's not like he's like a dot machine or anything like that.
I need that break starter, bruh. I need that break starter.
That still felt good on the court to kind of combine his play style with also being the most optimal.
I might go down on a driving dunk.
So that's where I just ended with that, to be real with you. If you want to, contort it a different way, feel free to. 65 free throw, decently respectable compared to some of the other stuff I had put the insides on.
Probably a 70.
80 driving lay. Super big. It's going to give you things like Bam Adebayo floater, Sabonis, stuff like that. It's going to extend your range more than you think. I know you've seen the build with 40 mid-range and you think it's a complete spacing liability. It won't be great as a role player spacing the floor. I'll say that much. You can't just simply catch and shoot very likely at a high rate, especially with just the 53 pointer. Maybe that's good enough, especially in comparison with maybe a playmaking takeover or a high dimer, or just in very wide open shots that are in the corner or something like that. If you really had to space the floor, at least give it a shot. But what I think is more of the easy way to space the floor is if you are a ball handler with this build in tandem with like teammates that you know, so they're willing to let you be a ball handler, and then being able to use that driving layup to use that as floor spacing for yourself, where if people are sagging off on you, you have a way to attack them with the floaters of that Bam Adebayo crazy 20-foot floaters with the 80 driving lay to still be respectable.
I'm finna have to get Lab in the floater game, bro. I'm finna get crazy with the floater game, bro.
Good enough driving lay to be
Laker
comfortable in
fan,
any aspect
bugging.
when it comes to the finishing lobs would be
I
plenty.
suggest y'all watch Laker fan, bro. He know what he talking about, y'all.
Animations like that side clutches off one. And your defensive role, very likely just guard the other team's big. I know, 71 interior defense isn't perfect in that regard, but again, your physicals should make up for it at a decent rate, and the box outs.
That's why I'm gonna put down the drive and dunk.
Should be good enough to get the job done on defense too.
But I want to see what
it's not a defensive ace. I wish I would have made this slightly better defensively, but again, to embody Giannis is pretty tough, man. Do you either go with more strength to kind of embody the way he plays on offense, or do you go with more speed to just naturally fit the way he moves on the court? Obviously, right? But I will say, with the way dribbling feels on this game, I think you can really replicate the way he plays on offense with these types of like playmaking ratings. It's just going to be the speed that doesn't exactly stand out quite as much. You could argue a 6'10 maybe replicates him a little bit more, but bro, he's like 7 foot to be fair as well. So it's hard to find the right mix and balance, and I think this build should be it in my personal opinion. Now, if you want to make this build a power forward, feel free to as well. Obviously, because it's 6'11", you cannot do that. So if you want to make it power forward, it'd have to be 6'10". That could be a possibility if you wanted it to be as well. But I will say, all things considered, I think the build looks pretty good. So, not to necessarily say that these are all the SIGs I would run, but here's at least a glimpse of things that you can afford on the build. I don't know for a fact what I would prefer to put on it, to be fair. I think the things that I find very important would be Giannis dribble style, and then his own crossover as well. I unfortunately did not take the time to actually put stuff like that on, but you can get it. It is 65 ball handle as far as the requirement. Now, like I said, the thing that I would probably recommend when it comes to the behind the back is Pro. This Kevin Durant one is like the only other one that I really saw popping up as far as the behind the backs you get with 70 ball handle. I think Pro is probably just going to be your best look. So all of these things in tandem with, let's say, something like the Dwight Howard dunk style. Technically, you'll create your own. But Bam floater, the Giannis dribble style. We got like the behind the back with Pro. All these things combined, you should be able to pretty much move as a slasher, I would think. Like, as you can see, you can put the ball on the floor and move toward your ball hand and get downhill pretty well, while also still having a really respectable floater animation, good dunk ability, the behind the back to like kind of flip your ball hand. All of these things, like you can see the bag that you can move with.
If I'm busting y'all lies this year, bro, don't be mad,
This is
bro.
technically Point Center 2.0. Just
telling y'all, bro, I'm finna be one of them ones, bro. Y'all finna know about me, bro. Y'all niggas finna know about me,
This
bro.
embodies Giannis a little bit more.
Y'all niggas finna know about me,
and
bro.
just the teetering on the ability to be a playmaker, but not being designed to be one, essentially. So fits in as a screener, fits in as a ball handler, however you want to use it, and it can still be a versatile defender at the same time as well. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on noties, all good stuff. Like always, try to win 1,000 likes, and if you made it to the end of the video, put Giannis or put Freak in the comment search bar to make my way through. Also, in case you guys didn't know, I'm teaming up with NBA 2K Lab of sitting that one of the on the control.com. Then when I only so this time it's abysmally low. To be fair, you have to want to talk about before I check out for 20% off. Anyway, that's all. Let's get back to the video now. The very last thing I want to talk about before I do end the video is the fact that the steal rating is abysmally low. To be fair, you have to skate out on a couple different attributes if you'd like. A lot of people keep complaining about the whole pure inside aspect of a build. If you wanted to have a little bit more three-pointer, obviously you could, but things like the steal rating kind of have to be the thing you put at an expense. Like, what else are you going to cut out on this build if you wanted to play like Giannis? Are you going to cut the strength down a little bit and like no longer be a good screener, no longer be like physical with the ball in your hand as far as
I'm cutting the driving dunk down.
Like the finishing style? Would you're not going to move down the agility, speed, or vert or anything like that. You can't afford physicals to go any lower on Giannis. The prim D can't go anywhere, obviously. The interior D is already kind of skating by. If you wanted to say anything, I know on like the NBA player versions of things, Giannis is a much better defensive rebounder than he is offensive rebounder. But again, I'm trying to optimize the build for y'all at the same time too. Do not be on a pure inside like offensive player and not have offensive rebound. That is the craziest thing you'd ever do to yourself just because you want to embody his ratings a little bit more. That's just kind of dumb. So that's my take on it, at least. If you wanted to cut anything out, again, it's probably pass accuracy over anything. But wanted to give you a little bit of bag as far as like something that'd be fun to play with. But
I do drive
you could cut that out instead and go for a little bit more steal or interior defense. But anyway, that's all for the video. Hope y'all enjoyed. None of that. Take these, man. Peace.
But hey, man, I'm gonna catch y'all niggas in the next one. Let's get 2 to 5 likes on this fucking video, bro. Subscribe. Let's get to it, bro. Y'all niggas finna know about me, nigga. Y'all niggas finna know about me.